Hi, Tony.
Billy, how you doing? Here we are in our
Hi.
Celtic Crack show. It's great to have you on board. I was just giving people a rundown quickly on your career that you're going to be speaking about. It's brilliant you've jumped on board. Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
No problem.
Great job. How's life been this last 3 months with lockdown with you?
Yeah, well, I'm furloughed at the moment, Tony. So it's basically been getting the garden into order and any decorating is needing done. So it's worked out quite well for that. But champing at the bit now to get back. It's getting more and more difficult, as I suppose it is for everybody.
Yeah, we're in the same boat ourselves, but it's good to see things that's maybe just slightly coming out of the darkness here. So hopefully we get ourselves back on track. You're still with the Scotland squad, aren't you?
Yep, I'm still taking the Scotland under 19s, 18s and 19s. So UEFA actually announced last week that our next round of the competition, European Championships, will go ahead in September, first week in September. So obviously things have to keep moving along the right path before then, but it was quite encouraging to have a sort of target to get back to getting involved.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. I know it's getting them back and getting them fitness tested and making sure, you know what I mean, you get all the tactics right for getting into that. So best of luck on that front. So here,
Great. Thanks, Tony.
let's get to talking about yourself. William Stark was born on the 1st of December way back in 1956 in Glasgow.
Yeah.
When did you discover, when you were growing up, that you had a little talent for football?
Some still might dispute that, but it was basically just from when I can remember. I was kicking a ball. My dad played junior in Scotland for a couple of clubs, so there was a football heritage there, if you like, and he encouraged me and my brother, younger brother John, who's 3 years younger. We'd always kick the ball around the back garden. And as I say, in those days, you basically, if your mum sent you to the shops, you kicked the ball up the street to the shop and back down again. It was, school playground, before school, playtime, lunchtime, playtime, dribble back down and play until it was dark. So change days from now where they have so many other things to do. But most of us had a love of football and playing it.
Yeah, it just reminds me of when we were young. We were the same. Played morning, noon, and night. The only time you went home was to get fed, and you were back out again with a ball.
Absolutely.
You were saying that, kids.
Well, the thing was, Tony, in those days, you plead poverty, but in the street, if anybody had a ball, they were the most popular guy in the street for however long that ball lasted before it got burst.
Yeah, very, very true.
So no, it was a great childhood and upbringing. It's pretty basic, but your parents did everything for you and to encourage you. And my dad came to watch me right through school football, secondary juvenile, until I went senior. So he was always there.
Excellent. And growing up in Glasgow, did you have there's loads of other teams in Glasgow, as you well know, but were you in with a sort of, did you pick an old firm team back then, or were you outside of all that?
Well, yeah, the way things were, which wasn't that uncommon in Glasgow, was my mum came from a big Catholic family and my dad was a Protestant family, although none of them were churchgoers. My dad sort of favoured Rangers in those days. But the truth of the matter is, you didn't have much time to go and watch football. It was playing it. We played on a Saturday morning, we played on a Saturday afternoon, and we played on a Sunday with the street team. So it was all about playing. But no, my mum's side, I can remember clearly. My cousin Jim had a big Celtic man and had every programme. And I remember going over to his house and he'd bring out his big box of Celtic programmes, and we would go through them. So I was sort of brought up in that vein as well. That it was sort of in between the two, if you like.
Yeah,
if that's possible.
Fought in two camps, they would say. But yeah, getting into your teenage years and starting off in football, it began with St Mirren, didn't it? And on a bus journey after playing a game and Alex Ferguson approaching you.
That's right. It was strange because I had I actually was training with a couple of teams at the time, and so there was a wee guy, a scout for St Mirren called Baldy Lindsay, who it turns out was Joe Miller's uncle.
All right.
I found that out later, and Baldy was dead keen on me. I had to somebody, so he was dead keen on me. He was a taxi driver, and he used to come to the door and talk to my dad and all the rest of it. So he basically sort of got Alex Ferguson to have a look at us. So we actually arranged a game with my juvenile team, Annisland Waverley. We played St Mirren, and nothing really came of that. And then he invited me to go on a pre-season game down to Celtic, down the Scottish borders. And so that was about June 75, end of June 75, July maybe.
Yeah.
And it was their first pre-season game, and I played, and I didn't play very well at all. I improved a bit to average in the second half. So I thought nothing of it, but on the bus on the way back, he signed me.
Oh,
so
wow.
Just as I was to learn through the coming years when I played under him, there wasn't much negotiation. You were basically told to sign there, and that was it. I think I get 80 quid or something.
Oh, wow.
And the juvenile club got a half a dozen balls or something like that. So that was a bit
crazy days.
So I was just thrilled to get an opportunity to play senior.
Excellent. And of course, it started for you in 1975. You got that contract, you got signing for St Mirren. Alex Ferguson was your manager. You were in the old Division 1, was back then. And he's had an absolute outstanding season. I actually went through and was looking at a few results there today. I've seen how he's done. And he's ended up Division 1 champions in 76-77. He's really put together a fantastic team.
Yeah, that was an exciting time, Tony. We were getting crowds, average crowds at Love Street, the old St Mirren ground in those days, was around about 10,000. We sort of had a ding-dong battle with Clydebank through the season to win the championship, and we managed to do it up at Dens Park. A great night. We won 4-0 up there, and Gordon Strachan played that night for Dundee.
All right.
Tommy Gemmell was the manager. Davy White I think was the manager, but Tommy Gemmell, I think I came up against him as Dundee manager at around about that time. So no, that season was fantastic. It was a young team. Alex Ferguson signed young players: Tony Fitzpatrick, Lex Richardson, Frank McGarvey.
Wow.
So we had real youthful enthusiasm there, apart from the ability. Obviously, Frank was in team moved to Celtic, so there was some good young players, and we managed to get promotion to the Premier Division.
Yeah, and he's getting into the Premier Division. What was Ferguson like when he started to, start dealing with the big boys when he's come up, and he's Celtic, Rangers, Hearts, it's all in the big league. Aberdeen, where he's won all the monies. What was he like with, to motivate you for getting in for that game, for games like that?
Well, of course, management's changed a lot since those days, but managers really ruled by fear, and you didn't want to let him down or let yourself down. He really just sort of pushed the standards and wouldn't let go. There was no slacking ever, and so he was on top of us all the time, and so motivation was it wasn't sort of an arm around the shoulder and telling you were a great player. It was basically mostly criticism, but if you got a well done from him, and that continued throughout the years, if you got a well done, you were over the moon. that was like
yeah, he didn't give away too much.
The best you were ever going to get. So no, in terms of going into the Premier Division, I was thinking back on that. I mean, you just felt that he instilled that belief in you. He had total confidence, drive, and enthusiasm, and it sort of just made its way through the players. And you know, we always felt we were capable of, first of all, staying in the Premier Division, and so it proved. We managed to do that.
Managed to do that the first year, 77, 78. He's finished 8th that season. And went into the next season, and Ferguson was gone. He had up sticks and got a great offer from Aberdeen to move.
Yeah. Well, it was an interesting sort of footnote to that season, Tony.
Yeah.
We'd started off, we played in it was called the Tennant Caledonian Cup, which was a pre-season tournament at Ibrox. And we played Southampton with Alan Ball and Peter Osgood and Steve Williams and all those players, and then before that we played West Brom with Brian Robson and players like that. So that was a great grounding for us. And I always, as the years went on, I was always fortunate enough to get off the map in the goal scoring stakes quite early in the season. I my first or second game, competitive game.
Yeah.
But I managed to score in the West Brom game a couple of goals. We lost 4-3. And so I thought I was off and running, but obviously you stepped up to the Premier League. It's a different level, and I didn't score in any of the league. I can't remember just how many league games, but my first goal was scored for St Mirren against Celtic at Celtic Park.
I was going to come around to that, yeah, because you were a thorn in Celtic's side throughout your whole career, weren't you?
Yeah. I wouldn't say that. I actually did some great games with St Mirren against Celtic. We had some really good side at St Mirren through the years, and we usually ended up in the wrong end. You know, there's 5-2s. I remember a 7-0 at Celtic Park, right enough that with Charlie scored a hat trick, I think. So so there was always goals in those games because we felt. Just the way we were brought up with Alex Ferguson, it was attacking football. It wasn't like we're playing Celtic. You know, let's just camp their own half and try and get a 0-0 or whatever. You know, we went and took them on, and you know, it was the McCluskeys and McGarveys and the Charlie Nicholases and George McCluskeys and people like that. Brian McClare then coming through as well. So there was always a potent goal threat. So as I say, we sort of tried to go toe to toe with them, but we got the odd result. But normally we were in the wrong end, unfortunately. Yeah. But the thing I was going to say was just to jump ahead.
Yes.
Having scored that first goal at the Rangers end at Celtic Park, I then scored my 100th Premier League goal for Celtic against Hearts in the same net, the same goal at the Rangers end. So that was quite coincidental.
It's excellent the way that turned out for you.
I know, absolutely.
Yeah. And we're still sticking with your St Mirren career. As I say, Ferguson had left there. Was that a big shock for you to gather up that sort of momentum and that St Mirren team, then to lose them?
It was a seismic shock. It was, you know, because we won promotion, established ourselves in the Premier League, and then he was gone. And of course, you would know there was a lot of controversy about the way he left, and you know, nobody knows the real story. But it was the wee guy Willie Todd was the chairman at St Mirren, and I think he lived to regret that for a long time to come, because obviously he went to Aberdeen, Fergie, and won the league a couple of years later with them. So that was a big shock. And then Jim Clooney came in.
Yes.
And Ricky McFarlane, who was physio-stroke assistant to Fergie, was assistant manager to Jim Clooney. He was a big influence in my career, but Big Jim came in having been a St Mirren player back in the 50s, and we had some good success, finished third in the Premier League. So
you did, yeah.
And,
even better what Ferguson did with the previous two.
So no, I enjoyed my time at St Mirren, particularly the first half dozen years. You know, the last couple of years I was sort of maybe thinking about getting a move, to be honest with you.
That's what I was thinking. No, you spent 8 years, or would it be 8 seasons at St Mirren, and I was surprised that no large club had actually come in for the likes of yourself. I know McAvaney was in there at that some stage, and you had Frank McGarvey, you had the likes of Fitzpatrick, and I think he went.
McDougall.
Yeah.
Frank McDougall as well.
Yeah. And Billy Abercrombie, but he stayed with the club, you know what I mean, for loads of years.
He did.
But for the likes of yourself there, no, when you look over your career and you went, Jesus, he spent 8 years sitting around without a move. I find that really, really well. It did happen, but how you sat there for so long, being a cracking player at what you were?
Well, the funny thing was, Tony, I don't remember ever feeling. We were reasonably well looked after in terms of wages in those days. You needed your bonus, you needed your appearance money, and all the rest of it. But and outside of the old firm, we probably were reasonably comparable with others in terms of the money side. Not that was the most important thing, but I don't remember sort of thinking, I need to get out of here, blah blah. I mean, Frank went to Liverpool round about 78, 79.
Oh, right.
I think he came back to Celtic in 80, but and then Tony Fitzpatrick went to Bristol City, and maybe thought at that time maybe something would happen for me. There was as happened in those days. There was plenty of talk. There was a few English clubs, Southampton being one that was sort of quite a strong rumour. And I know Alex Ferguson tried to get me a couple of times round about a year or two after he left, but it didn't happen. So as I say, it was only later on in my time at St Mirren that I felt, and I had to make that. I made that decision because in 1983 when I went to Aberdeen, it was the first year I proved freed of my contract.
Right.
So it meant that until then, quite unbelievably for the way it is nowadays, but until then, if the club that you were with offered you the same terms as you were on, then you couldn't go anywhere. You were with them for life, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a crazy contract.
So freedom of contract came in 83, which meant that if your contract was up and another club wanted to sign you, they could just sign you, and if they couldn't agree a fee, it would go to a tribunal, as it did with Brian McClare going from Celtic to Man United later on. So I'd made my mind up that I would definitely go. There was a bit in a few clubs that made offers at that time, but when Alex Ferguson came on, Aberdeen had just won the Cup Winners' Cup and had previously won the league and a couple of Scottish Cups, so I was desperate to win major honours. And the fact that Alex Ferguson signed me for St Mirren, I thought, even although the way he managed was tough, I was delighted to go there, and I don't regret it. No, not for a minute.
Yeah, a lot of young kids about listening going, Aberdeen, of course, way back in the early 80s, Aberdeen were strong. And after 255 appearances and 60 goals, you moved there in 1983, and you signed for what was then £60,000, and you signed into the European Cup Winners' Cup holders then.
Yeah.
Great
move.
I mean,
that was the thing. I felt at St Mirren I'd been well established, obviously, but going to Aberdeen, it was going to be a challenge to get into the first team. So, I was aware of that with Strachan and Peter Weir and Dougie Bell, Neil Cooper, Neil Simpson. They did a lot of top players, so to get into that midfield area was going to be tough. But I actually trained well in the pre-season and got into the team at the start of the season alongside Gordon Strachan, and played a number of games. Missed one or two on the bench or whatever, but then I picked up an injury which was a hip injury, which took from, I think that was October right through until the end of March, beginning of April, before I came back, and I managed to come back, played a few league games before the end of the season, and I got into the 13 for the Scottish Cup final against Celtic at Hampden, and that was the famous game that Big Roy was sent off.
That's right.
And we managed to win in extra time with Mark McGee, another ex-Celt.
I know.
Scoring the winning goal.
Yeah.
So I still kid Big Packy on about that one. He was trying to come for the cross and missed it, and Mark scored it.
I know, I've seen it today. It was hurtful.
I can keep Packy going with that one.
Yeah, Packy was on last week. He was telling some greater yarns about the old days, and even about yourself and all in the centenary team. But that team you were in Aberdeen, you know what I mean? That was strong. It was a strong team. And you mentioned about me Strachan there in the midfield. It just had me thinking there. What sort of player was Strachan? What was he like in the dressing room?
Well, that was the thing. I was going into a well-established team with experienced international players, Gordon Strachan, Wally Miller, Alec McLeish, Jim Layton, and then some of the younger ones as well, Eric Black, people like that. So Stuart Kennedy was another one who they basically ruled the dressing room. Gordon, as you would have guessed, you get to know characters through being players and managers, and Gordon always had a view and had plenty to say and keep the dressing room going and all the rest of it. But he was a top player. I mean, an absolute top player. I say that, you go and there is another example of that, mind you, with Willie Miller. Willie was the worst trainer in the world. But he was inevitably probably the best player every Saturday. So, but Gordon Strachan, the way he trained, the standards, the consistency in training, and I put Paul McStay in that bracket as well. Every single day, their standards were of the highest order. And what you had to do was you had to try and raise your game to get on their level or anywhere near it. So that was the challenge that was there when I went to Aberdeen. But Strachan was a top player.
Yeah. And you playing in that sort of for, you know what I mean, near enough, 7 years with Gordon Strachan beside you. Although you only done a year with him in Aberdeen, but then in later years you had Paul McStay. Would you be able to put your neck in the line to say who was the better player?
Well, I'm a big McStay fan.
Oh, good.
and McStay was, he was the maestro.
Yeah.
I can still recall a game at Celtic Park where we didn't do it particularly well, and he basically played them on his own that day. He could do everything, Paul. He wasn't the quickest, and he wasn't a prolific goal scorer, but he scored some great goals. But my goodness, the full package in terms of receiving the ball under pressure, seeing the whole picture, getting out of tight situations, range of passing. He was the maestro, without a doubt. Gordon Strachan operated from a wide area and was a bit of a dribbler. Although he adapted his game as he went on. But Paul was a midfield maestro. He really was. And I was lucky enough to room with him for a couple of years as well. So the most unassuming, modest guy you'll ever meet. A real great guy as well, which is always a bonus.
Yeah, I've met him once, and it's so quiet and not like his brother Raymond. He was with us Raymond that day, and he was all mouth, and Paul was just completely quiet. Great guys. So at Aberdeen, back-to-back Premiership wins. You have a Scottish Cup in your belt there as well, and you were going well in European Cup as. You had a cracking run in the European Cup. You just lost it in the last minute against Gothenburg away back. I remember watching that back in the day. You were, I think, more or less, you were going through. I think you lost out in it was a last minute penalty or something, wasn't it, or something?
It was a big guy called Johnny Ekstrom. I can remember it well. We were on 2-1 at Pittodrie. We went to the Ulevi Stadium and drew 0-0, so we went out on away goals, drew 2 each. So. Yeah, you're right. He scored in the last couple of minutes, but they were a top team. Gothenburg. They had won the UEFA Cup a couple of years previously, and then of course they did it again a couple of years later with Aberdeen. So it was no disgrace, but it was an opportunity sort of missed because I think they drew Barcelona in the semi-final,
That's right, and then Barcelona
won
were no big
3-0 at
team
home,
then.
and then lost 3-0 in Barcelona, I think, and Barcelona won it extra time or penalty, something like that. So they're a top team, but we off the back of winning the Cup Winners' Cup, there was good European experience there, and they knew how to play European ties. So that was another reason for trying to go. Although I did play European football with St Mirren, when we finished third in the league. We played Elfsborg, and then we drew St Etienne with Platini and those guys, and lost 2-0 in aggregate, which was a bit of a moral victory.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 0-0 and 2-0. Yeah, I'd seen them results up.
So no, the European nights were great, and obviously I'm lucky enough to experience a few with Celtic as well. But no, Aberdeen, to say we won 2 league titles in the trot, and actually the second one is the last time anybody outside the Old Firms won the league. So
that's right.
It was an anniversary there, because I got a few press guys phoning me, but quite incredible that, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. So
no, I don't think it myself.
So
a long may continue, like.
Of course. For one side, exactly.
Yeah, I know. So, no, I mean, no matter what you say about your St Mirren career, that was really successful, with no trophies in it. But when you went, you had your first division championship, but that Aberdeen was, you know what I mean, to do what you did there was absolutely outstanding. But in 1986, Ferguson decides to up sticks again. And makes a big move into the English League, and he goes to Manchester United. Did you know what was all going on in the background? Was Ferguson keeping us in the mix, letting us know what was happening? Because you were a squad,
No. I mean, there was always rumours because of his profile in terms of what he'd done at Aberdeen. There was always clubs like him, all these Rangers, and Tottenham were one that was strongly fancied to take him away. But I think, I found out later that he basically he knew Man United was the club for him, so he was content to wait to get his opportunity there, which is exactly what happened. And again, whilst we knew he was coveted and wanted by a lot of clubs, it's still a shock when he goes. But it's amazing how fickle fans are. I can still remember it to this day. He left on the Thursday, on the Wednesday rather, and on the Thursday, coming into training, he had gone, and remember a number of journalists outside the ground, English journalists as well. So that told you the sort of profile that he was getting, and Manchester United attracted. So we actually, Archie Knox was his assistant, and Archie stayed to take the team on the Saturday. I think we were playing at home against Motherwell or something like that, and the setup at Pittodrie, the tunnel down in the corner and walk up to the halfway line for the dugouts. They booed Archie all the way up. The Aberdeen fans booed him all the way up to the touchline. I think we won the game 3 or 4-0 or something, and then they booed him back at the end of the game. No! short memories, but I'm sure that was just the rawness of the emotion, and they were probably quite right, because Aberdeen obviously have never been able to replicate those days, and so that was the end of the era for sure.
Here, can I ask you, because it absolutely baffles me with so many of your talent was overlooked by Scotland. Although Ferguson had brought you to St Mirren, brought you to Aberdeen, was playing you week in and week out, he was in the Scotland setup, and you never even got a call up to the Scotland squad. It totally baffled me.
To be fair, it's not something that I reflect on, and I'm bitter about in any way, Tony. I think you have to be honest and look at the calibre of players that were playing then. At the start of my career, you had the likes of Archie Gemmill and people like that, and then you came through to the likes of Gordon Strachan and all the rest of them were playing. So there was an abundance of midfield players that meant I didn't get a chance. I mean, I think a comparable one for me, because I basically was a goal scoring midfield player, and I think John Walk was doing the same, a much higher profile for Ipswich and then Liverpool down in England. So I wouldn't have any complaints about being overlooked for John Ward, because he was a terrific player, and you know, he filled that need for goals from the middle of the park. So as I say, it did. I think it was 85 or 86. I get called into the under-21s as an overage player when we went to Iceland.
Yeah.
In fact, it was the night before Souness broke Siggy Jonsson's leg, and the big game the night after that, I think we won 1-0. So that was my. I'd been in under-21 squad with St Mirren as well, but that was my only sort of win as an overage player. So don't quite get the chance at the full level, but luckily enough to jump on into management, I was able to take the full squad for a game and manage Scotland for a game. So so as I say, no complaints.
No worries. So let's say Aberdeen are maybe coming towards the end in the final season of 86-87. You still did all right. Finished fourth out of 12 teams that were in the league back then, and Archie Knox was there, but Ian Porterfield came in to manage.
He did.
And towards the end of the season, I think he had a wee conversation with you about a certain team in green and white hoops, maybe interested after Davy Head left and Billy McNeil was trying to build a team for the centenary season.
That's right. Well, I can remember it clearly. Alex Ferguson left in November that year, and Ian Porterfield came in a few weeks later, and I had made the decision. My older daughter had been born just before we moved to Aberdeen, so she was just coming to school age, and my younger daughter had been born in Aberdeen 2 years previously. So one was about to start school, one was getting towards nursery, and we felt we did 4 years at Aberdeen. I wanted to get back down to the west of Scotland, so it was that area west of Scotland that I was hoping to get a club. Never for a minute. I was 30 years old. Never for a minute thinking Celtic would be interested, but you know, luck comes into you, play a part in your career, and as you say, Davy Hay, who obviously came with us when Tommy took us back in management. But Davy had lost his job. Billy McNeil came in. Celtic had lost the 4 players: Mo Johnston, Murdo McLeod, Alan McInally, and Brian McClare. So Big Billy had a real rebuilding job, and it would have been the centenary year as well that added to the pressure, if you like. So I was just really fortunate. I got a call. My mother-in-law got a call to her house in Baillieston in Glasgow from a guy called John Kelman. And John was a trusted aide of Big Billy, chief scout at Celtic. But as it turns out, it was actually Billy McNeil who just used the name John Kelman.
Oh, did he? Very clever of him.
He did. So he left a number to call. So of course when I called, I'm wondering. Well, I still get connection. Actually, Hearts and Motherwell and a few others had expressed an interest. But right away I was on the phone, and it was Big Billy, and he said, "I want to sign you. I've just come into the job again, and I need some experienced players and players that I know." He obviously knew me from playing with St Mirren against Aberdeen at that time, his first spell there. So I was in last shot. So the new, I can remember it well, the new front facade at Celtic Park in the front of the main stand was being built at that time. So Big Billy says, you know, just get the Barrowfield round the back and come in through the jungle. So I drove round the back of the stadium, and it was like the OK Corral. With packs of dogs running about as well, and so I got my way in safely through the jungle and up, and I think I would say 5 minutes I had signed. So I wasn't going to look a gift horse in the mouth. It was a fantastic opportunity for me to play for Celtic. So signed the dotted line, and that was it.
Yeah, the Indian summer of your career, at 31 years of age, and that was at the 29th of August 1987. You had signed for Celtic. Absolutely amazing.
It was unbelievable, Tony. To be honest with you, I still pinch myself now to sign for Celtic for the first thing, but to sign for the centenary year, and when you look back now, you understand that it could have gone horribly wrong. It could have been the centenary year where we didn't win anything, but as it turns out, to go there and be part of Celtic's history, and Tommy always said that the achievements he had with Celtic, are legendary in terms of winning trophies right through his years there. But the centenary one was special because he says that will always be remembered as a centenary team. So, as I say, I still pinch myself and feel so honoured, and it was an honour. To play for Celtic.
Because we were talking about iconic football teams of our own Celtic generations, the likes of the Lisbon Lions, and that Declan was talking about, the Invincible team, and he just says, you know what I mean, there's 3 teams, there's 3 groups of teams that are up there that will never be forgotten in our history, and you're part of it, Billy. Nobody's ever going to take that away from you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's great. You have memories of your playing days, and lucky enough to be a footballer. So it's sad in a way. It seems for all sportsmen, your playing days come to an end. I've been fortunate to be able to get some sort of career in management, but the playing days are something special. And that dressing room we had in the centenary year was quite exceptional. I mean, characters, my goodness. Your good pal Rogie.
Yes.
was laughing at it every day. That guy I think he plugged himself in the morning, and then that was him for the rest of the day.
One of the best mullets in football, even better than yours. Mullets, the hair mullet.
Mullets, exactly. I had one myself.
I know, but it was nowhere near Rogies.
Oh, but he was a great guy, and that's what I'm saying. You went to your work as it was. You're listed by the people around about you, and that young crew that we had with Rogie and Derek White and Joe came a wee bit later, and then Chris Morris was sort of part of that as well, and then you had the older ones like Tal and myself and Matt McGee, Big Roy, and it was just in Packy. Obviously, it was just banter the whole way. It was non-stop fun. To be honest with you, when you look back, and the other thing about that, Tony, was in the centenary year, Ballymena Hill is the iconic Celt without any shadow of a doubt, an absolute, a true legend, and he knew what the Celtic support meant to the club, and so that being the centenary year, Nancy, my wife and I talk about this often. We spent a fortune in babysitters, but we were out almost every weekend at Celtic supporters do that whole centenary year. It was absolutely amazing, and so that's all part of the experience for me. Apart from the playing side and the players and all the rest of it, to go out to the supporters clubs and seeing what Celtic really means to them was quite something.
It was something else. Did you in the centenary year when you signed as well? I'm sure there was a wee bit of fear and trepidation within you.
Yeah.
Knowing here this centenary season, you got to deliver. And I remember, I was talking to Rogie and Packy and all about it. The fear it was in the fans getting into that season with seeing Rangers spending silly money, bringing up half the England football team as well. And did you fear that at all? Because I asked all the players this, because I wondered that they were all confident about it. They said Billy had this great confidence that he put back into use. Did you feel that? Or?
Absolutely, because I often think back on that, and just as I say, it could have no turned out the way it did, but so you think, go back to that time and how you felt about it, and I think that's the key thing. Big Billy was such a character. He had that great balance. I mean, he stepped into a room and everybody knew he was there. He had that presence and charisma, but he loved a laugh with the boys. I mean, he did. And so for me, in terms of all the managers I've worked for, and you look at, he had the balance perfectly. That he was able to, talk to you in the same level, but at the same time, he knew when he was serious, and he's responsible.
Yeah.
He's responsible for gelling the players that were already there with the ones that he brought in, and instilling that belief in the players that they can go and have a successful season. So I'm the same as Joe and Packy and the ones you spoke to. I don't ever think back and think. Well, I mean, we had a good start, which helped. Although it wasn't a great start, because my first game at Celtic Park for Celtic was Arsenal, where we lost 5-0.
Yeah, it was only a friendly. It doesn't count.
It was a friendly game.
Yeah,
I think it served its purpose because we didn't need a wake up call because we were only starting out, but we'd worked hard pre-season over in Sweden, and we felt we had a good blend to go and play. A good mix of the experienced youth, goals in the team, creativity, defensive solidity, all the rest of it, and so that was a bit of a shocker at the Arsenal game. But I was experienced enough. I've had good pre-seasons, and then you have a poor season. So pre-seasons are all about preparing, but obviously for the Celtic support, it didn't augur well. But as I say, we went down to Capello the next Saturday, and they were there in their droves, and we got off to a great start with a 4-0 win.
4-0 against Morton.
And
you hit the ground running.
A wee run.
Yeah, you hit the ground running that day. You actually backed your first goal.
I can remember it well. Yeah, it was sort of up the slope at Capello, which was a good ground for me in terms of goal scoring. So I had a good feeling about that day. So it was just stealing in and getting a header, and it helped to put the seal on a great start in the league for us. So I think we played Hearts I remember playing Hearts in a midweek game sort of early on in that season, and I think Mark McGee was a hammer of Hearts. He always scored against Hearts. I think Mark scored, and it was a tight game. I remember it was really lashing down as well, and that was a big result for us as well. So we got a good solid start, and then of course the Old Firm game. Rangers coming to Celtic Park. I think would that have been September?
August 29th. That would have been
August 29th, early August. So you're talking about fear, and having played cup finals with Aberdeen and won the league titles and all the rest of it. You're as experienced as you were going to get. But that morning, I was full of fear, I must admit.
Your old
we had the good start in the league, but this was a big one. So we had to put out a marker, sort of put them in their place a wee bit, and luckily for me, the day couldn't have turned out any better. So
because early on, I think it was around about 16th, 17th minute, you had actually given us the lead that day.
Yeah, I can remember it. I can remember it well. Obviously, it's you played something like 600 games in your career, but there's some games stand out. Obviously, big games, but the Old Firm games always do. But that one particularly, because I managed to get a goal early in the game. No, for a minute thinking that was going to be the only goal of the game, which selfishly adds to it for the individual. So you got the headlines because you scored the only goal, but in truth, Tony, we could have won the game 3 or 4. And I think the Rangers conceded that as well. But as I say, it helped me in a way because any doubts Celtic supporters had, because there wasn't a big name signing or whatever. Although you felt you had some respect, but that helped to sort of seal that. So it was a memorable day.
I was only 19 back then when you had just come into the team, and I remember within the first month I went, where has he been all his life? And no, it reminds me of now. I was just explaining to my son Declan here. You were like the Lubo of our centenary year. That's what kind of impact you were.
I know where you're coming from, but I was just watching some stuff on YouTube the other day. He was a wee genius, so
he was.
I put myself in that category. But I know what you're saying.
You come in
and come late in your career and have doubts about you. Aye. So,
and you just hit the ground running, and that's the whole thing. You know what I mean? You'd scored in your home debut against Motherwell. You scored against Morton. Then you come in for your first Old Firm game, and you boss it. You boss it in the midfield, and you boss it that much. Our Declan, who wasn't even born then, wants to come in and ask you a question about it. Hello, about like that.
Hi Billy, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good. I wanted to ask you about your goal against Rangers, but yeah, just answered that there for me. But later on in the game, you had a wee run in with the Rangers player manager, so you did.
Yeah, I knew you were going to bring that up. And funny enough, when I still Celtic supporters are old enough to remember me in that game, I'll talk about that as much as the goal, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and the funny thing was that I heard Soons the other night on the TV doing his pundit, and he was talking about injuries, and he was saying I was lucky in my career I didn't break my leg at any time, and I said to my wife, no, but you did a few others.
Oh, without a doubt.
Aye. But no, I mean I was lucky because I can still remember it. Granty, I'd slid into a tackle just before that, and my boot came off, and I had my boot in my hand, and Granty played a wee shot past to me, and I saw him coming, and I just got my weight off my leg. But if I'd had my full weight in my leg, I would have been, my Celtic career I think would have been well curtailed, to be honest with you. So he was that type of player. He was a terrific player, but he had that real nasty streak, and luckily for me, as I say, I managed to get out in one piece.
Yeah, it's probably years of experience there, Billy. You knew that was coming at you.
I think so, Tony, yeah.
Yeah, and the centenary season, you know what I mean, the momentum build, because we got that first Old Firm win, and we started building a wee bit of a gap there, and it seems they weren't really big contenders for us in the title race that season. If I remember rightly, it was next up to us was, I think, Dundee United maybe. Finishing, it was Hearts. Yep. That season.
United Hearts, they were all strong sides. Aberdeen were all strong sides.
Yeah, they were still all strong. And sorry, go ahead, Billy.
No, I was just going to say, I think obviously there was a few teams running about the top of the league in those early days. After the turn of the year, if I remember, Rangers sort of being the main rivals to stop us. Obviously, the St Patrick's Day game at Ibrox, where we almost clinched it. We knew that day if we won it, it was going to be very difficult for them to stop us. But just to go back to the first Old Firm game at Ibrox, that was an eventful day for me as well.
Yeah.
The two each game with all the sending offs and all the rest.
That's right.
Total mayhem.
Maca went into fine detail about it all, so he did.
Aye, I'll bet you. But I can remember the wee referee was the wee guy called Jimmy Duncan.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was his first Old Firm game, but I remember him coming out of the dressing room as they all did before the game, and he was a nervous wreck. And I thought, this doesn't all go well. And sure enough, they use McAvenny as a punch bag. And the interesting thing, when you look at that, normally, I don't know why, but normally we would all pile in there, but we sort of left McAvenny. First I thought McAvenny could take on three of them.
Yeah.
But we sort of left him to go in with it. But,
I think, to be fair, Woods and Butcher didn't do all that much, but Roberts, when he came in, Roberts tried to put a slam on him.
He was the main one. He was the something. He was the one that actually punched McAvenny. The rest of them, could have got away with it. In those days, could have got away with it. But Roberts, who was the one that didn't get sent off, he was the one He was not.
And the other
guy.
Woods and Butcher ended up with criminal records. Roberts got not proven, and McAvaney got off with it as he always does.
He did. I know, I can still remember. He was going to court, McAvaney, and coming in, and you couldn't shake him anyway. Doesn't matter what you did to him, even the thought of jail or whatever. He was in cracking jokes, and I think he was giving the Rangers boys a hard time, although there was three of them. But no, it was a mad day, and obviously it ended up disappointing for us because we were ahead and they equalised late on. So as it turns out, that was the only points they took over that season. So we managed to recover.
Yeah, and although we lost, they scored in the last minute of that game, but last minute goals with us that season was just, it was unreal, absolutely unreal. You know what I mean? You get a lot of people leaving football games, as you see nowadays, they're all heading to the buses early. In those days you didn't, you stayed there until that whistle was blown, because you knew that, you know what I mean, if you left in the 87th minute, you could miss 2 goals. That's the way Celtic were playing then.
Absolutely. It goes back to the dressing room, Tony. Apart from ability and everything else, you need other things, particularly play for Celtic. You need to never give in and keep going no matter what. And we'd a dressing room full of guys like that, but we had the sort of leaders as well, with Big Roy particularly, who just drove you on when you needed it, and certainly the semi-final and the final that year will live forever in my memory. It was
unreal.
The most memorable game I played in was the cup final. The semi-final was quite spectacular as well. I mean, we were feeling a bit cheated anyway, because their goal should never have been allowed. Big David McPherson just jumped into Packy, and
that's right.
You won't
get away with that now.
Couldn't believe it when he gave the goal.
Yeah. See, before you go into that, Declan wants to ask you a question about another tie and the run-up of that. So
just
go ahead,
on the
Declan.
topic of last-minute goals, going into extra time against Hibs, and we wouldn't have got to that semi-final or even won the final if it wasn't for your extra time goal against Hibs at Easter Road.
God, I'm taking to that boy more and more.
You'd love him. See when you get to meet him, Billy?
No, I remember that well as well. I went on 0-0 at Celtic Park, and then had to go to Easter Road, which is always a difficult venue, and the Soap crowd. It was a tough night, and managed to get the goal late on to take us through to the semi-final. So as I said with the Rangers game as well, when you score the only goal of the game, it's highlighted and you get the plaudits, but it was always a team performance. And the build up to that goal, Declan, was an unbelievable situation, because I can still remember it well. Tommy just rolled the ball sort of maybe 25 yards out square for Granty to come on to, and Granty actually hit it on target. It hit the underside of the bar, and my old man always told me, follow everything in. Yeah. So sure enough, that was an instinct that I had, and Gorham had leapt to try and stop the Granty shot, and it came back off the bar, and I was first there. I think McAvaney was close as well, but I got there first and managed to put it in. So it was a great. Granty was claiming the goal right enough. I can remember that.
Yeah, because I'd seen footage on the other day of it.
Because he was in his view. So, but no, it was. I'm sure goal line technology would have proved it didn't go over anyway. So managed to knock it in, and that was us. So that was another big night for us, and for me personally, it was a great night.
As I say, going through that semi-final again against Hearts, more last minute. They were 1-0 down, getting into 88 minutes, and just the enthusiasm in that team. Because I always remember when we equalised, and Roy Aiken was standing in the halfway lane, and I seen him turning around to us all and saying, "Listen, let's go again,
Yeah.
let's go again. And I was going, wow.
Absolutely. Yeah, for 99% people,
Yeah.
you know, to get the goal, the equaliser with a minute to go or whatever it was, you know, they would think, oh, fantastic, we can just make sure we get through and try and get extra time.
Regroup.
No,
Yeah.
right, no, he could. I think that's the thing about great players as well. They can sense weakness in the opposition as well, and they knew they were dead in their feet, and we pushed for it, and luckily we got the winner. So it was, and I think in the semi-final the referee evened it up a wee bit, because I think there was a high ball came down on Henry Smith, one of the boys. I think Matt McGee challenged him, and I think he put
that's right.
The goal. So it certainly it evened it up if that. But what a feeling! And the thing I remember of that game was McAvenny in the bath after it was distraught.
That's right. He should have had a hat-trick. Yeah.
Aye, well, he missed chance after chance, which was like him. So he had a poor day, Macca, but it just shows you how football can turn out, because obviously, come the final, come the man, he wasn't missing anything that day. So that was.
Yeah. Come the final, come young Mark McGee.
Sorry, Tony.
I'd say come the final, come young Mark McGee.
Aye, well,
yeah.
I mean, I can remember obviously a disappointing way to start the game, but you know, the Mark and myself had played a lot of games that season, and decisions have to be made, and I can still vividly remember it. And Big Billy said it in his interview after the game. He said before the game, this will be a 13-man job today, without any shadow of a doubt. And I don't know if he had a crystal ball, but sure enough, we were 1-0 down, and Mark and I came on maybe 25 to go, something like that, and the momentum was with us. But I have to say,
you thought it was running out.
You know, well, you talk about the impact that the Celtic support can have, and I still remember that day, that bright sunny day. You know, the momentum with us, and we won a corner, and I'll never forget the noise was just incredible. In terms of the Celtic support rallying you, you know, you felt as such, you know, going a couple of inches, that was possible, and you know, again got the equaliser, and then got the winning goal to make it a double in the centenary year. So
we hadn't even recovered from the first goal. No, you know what the mayhem's like within the old Harrison back in Hampden. And we were just getting ourselves back, you know, and people were on their you know what I mean, hands on their knees trying to get a breath back, and the second goal went in. It was absolute mayhem, beautiful mayhem.
I know. That you know, you could win the game 2-1 and score for a regular time, but to do it in that dramatic sense, Big Billy always said that as well. There's something about the club that has that romance and drama. That was proven again that day, you know. Yeah,
it was outstanding, and you know what I mean. That was a double and everything produced in our centenary season that will never be forgotten by the support. Also, during the common season, there was a little thing called the Dubai Super Cup. Where we went out.
There was,
yeah. And I remember it being. I think it was live on ITV, if I remember rightly, and it was in the evening, late on the evening, and it was the first time that ever broadcast, I think, like a British Super Cup being played in foreign soil, and of course you were the hero there. You scored the winning penalty.
I used to think that winning penalty, but that was an interesting game as well, because we flew down to Gatwick. And Liverpool were staying in the same hotel, so there was a bonding session that night. I can still remember it. We were well oiled that night, and flew out the next morning with hangovers, I think. So I can't remember if the game was maybe played the Tuesday, something like that, but there wasn't a lot.
Yeah, it was midweek. I remember being midweek.
Recovery time, but I mean the medals are absolutely fantastic medal. It's a big round gold heavy medal that is just the Scottish flag and the English flag with the sort of British Cup, as they called it.
Yeah.
So no, that there's no many thinking about, Tony. So that's a treasured memory.
Oh, nice one. And we went into your second season there, and I don't know what happened with Celtic, but we lost a hell of a lot of players. You know what I mean? They went out the door in that season. The momentum just didn't come to try and keep them.
I think the thing as well, Tony, was that a feeling that there's been with the club at times over the years didn't really build on success.
Yeah.
Because Big Billy didn't get the budget. I think the only signing we made was Big Ian Andrews from Leicester.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper, who
That's
a
right.
great guy, just unfortunate it didn't work out for him at Celtic. But I think that was the only signing we made, really. And so we suffered because of that.
Yeah.
We didn't have the biggest in the centenary year. We didn't have the biggest pool of players anyway.
Yeah, when I was looking over the pool of players we had, they listed about something like 19, and I think about 4 of them I didn't even play, even once or twice.
Say that, the likes of Tony Arsbeacon and Tony Shep.
Yeah, they were the only ones in amongst it. Yeah.
So really after the centenary success, there should have been investment there. Because they would have taken enough money at the gate from that D game alone. I think there was about 200,000 in Celtic Park that day.
Yeah.
They clinched the league against Dundee. So no, they should have invested. So we suffered for that the following season, but we managed to win the Scottish Cup and stop Rangers in the process. So
yes,
that was
a treble.
I could end it, and I can vividly remember that. I don't know if anybody else has touched on that story, but we Rangers had won the league in this League Cup, and so they were going for the treble.
Yeah, they were.
We were playing the Scottish Cup final, so Big Billy took us to Portugal, because I think it was a 2-week break between the last game of the season and the cup final, and they took us to Portugal and for a bit of golf. So you can just imagine it, Tony. We're turning up at Glasgow Airport, where Rangers have won the 2 trophies so far, and we're at Glasgow Airport with the golf clubs and all the rest. I'm sure the Celtic supporters wanted that, chuffed to see that. But it was another masterstroke with Big Billy, because we had a great few days there, played a bit of golf and a bit of bonding at night, and that's where Rogan comes into it. I can remember coming out the bar late at night, we're all well on, and he was sitting on top of a bus stop. So,
that's a typical West Belfast thing, it happens.
And that's part of the course there, was it? But that was him, just mental. But so anyway, that wee trip.
Great bonding session,
because we managed to win the cup final.
Yeah, another great medal to your name, and young Joe Miller to get the winner too.
I know.
What did you think of him that day when he had scored? He looked as if he was going to run over and leap into the Rangers end. Did you see that yourself?
I think it's difficult to describe that euphoria that you would get, scoring the winning goal in a cup final against Rangers. So wee Josie produced the goods.
Oh, he's a great lad too. He come on to the show as well and give us his whole take into that. But that sort of next season, there was a season of injuries for yourself, and
was
the whole season.
Tony, I injured my Achilles in the pre-season, and they couldn't get to the bottom of it until they actually went in to have a look around about February, and I had torn my Achilles. And so the surgeon repaired it, and I managed to get back and play. I think I played the last 2 league games.
Yeah.
And then the cup final, so I swung it into the cup final. But,
was it disappointing end? Like that?
It was a disappointing end. We should have won it, and that when you look back, as somebody that go into the goal scoring positions, you always miss chances. But I keep getting back to that one. I had a great chance in the second half, coming in the back post. With a header that Jack Anofsky came back on his right foot, slanted it in, and I came in and I should have scored. And that was maybe, 15-20 to go. That would have won us the cup.
Yeah.
If's a big word, but it wasn't to be. So
yeah, small margins and all that, you know.
When it goes to penalties, I mean the standard of penalties was brilliant, and even Rogie's penalty, people forget.
Yeah, it's cracking.
I think it was Darius Dovcek had missed early on. Actually hit it on the bar or something, but Rogie hit a good penalty and the goalkeeper saved it. It was
an absolute cracking save. Yeah, it was a belting save because I remember that day going, Rogie, you know what I mean, we're all, because he came from our end of the road, just please, and the next thing I went, what a save from the keeper. That's the first thing I said, what a save from the keeper. You know, that was a cracking penalty, low, hard, into the corner. And
he did, exactly. It was a top save. So you know, I think it's always easy watching. You think that, you know, having gone through a few penalty shootouts, I had come off at the end of 90 minutes, having only played 3 games.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to go through the ordeal of taking a penalty that day, but I had a reasonable record in shootouts anyway.
So you have, yeah.
But when you're taking that long walk for the halfway line, believe me, it's excruciating. It's very, very difficult. So you feel for these guys.
I know, especially some of them that don't totally refuse to take penalties, because that was 9-8 in the shootout that day. You know, it started through the players.
Well, you know the thing. If Rogie had scored, the next one up was the 2 goalkeepers. I'd love to have seen Packy take the penalty.
Packy was telling us that last week, and he said, "Thank God Rogie missed, because he says I was up next."
I'll bet you. I know.
Yeah, but of course, called an end to the Celtic career at the end of that season. I know Billy was quite keen to keep you there, wasn't he?
He was, he was. But obviously, having missed the most of that season and knowing you've only got a few years left, you know, Big Billy was quite open with me. He wanted to sign another contract, but you know, couldn't guarantee he was going to bring in some new players, and couldn't guarantee. Well, you can never guarantee anyway. But I just get the feeling, you know, I would play a part, but you know, I wanted, having missed most of that season, to get playing games, Tony, and when Tommy was obviously going to come on in December, and when they, you know, showed an interest, then I weighed it all up and thought, I'll go with Tommy and see if we can do something to come on.
Yeah, and instead you just went up there and just worked marvels with Kilmarnock, you know what I mean, to trying to establish them, and a team that was going to, you know, to try and compete every week. Yeah.
I mean, they're a good club, Kilmarnock. And you know, to be fair, I didn't contribute that much in the playing side, but Tommy was absolutely immense. I mean, he was, and he loved it. You know, Celtic was his club, as everybody knows, and his whole career there. And then, you know, what a wrench to leave.
Yeah.
But he always said it was the right thing to do, because it gave him a new challenge away from, you know, the sort of comfort zone of Celtic Park, and he took up the mantle and was phenomenal in terms of getting about the second division, and that was when I joined. And then I then left to go to Hamilton to go to the management side, and at the end of that season, Tommy got the job and come up to the house and said he wasn't asking, he was basically telling me you're coming to Kilmarnock. So it was an easy decision, that one.
Yeah, as Face goes with chips and Salt goes with vinegar, Starkey goes with Burnsy. That's the way it goes. Yeah.
Well, it turned out that way. I mean, Tam and I played against each other in my early days at St Mirren, particularly. Me right midfield, Tam left midfield, and as I say, we had some ding dong battles with Celtic, and you know, some high scoring games. But Tommy was always a difficult opponent. And then we met up at the coaching course down at Largs, and that was where we really cemented our friendship, and sort of, I think made a pact would be too big a phrase, but we shared similar thoughts. I was brought up under Alex Ferguson, we attacked football. Tommy with Celtic, obviously, so we knew how we wanted to play, and you know, sort of touched on if there was ever an opportunity.
Yeah, two marvellous heads. One steered by Ferguson, one steered by Steen. You know, you couldn't.
Well, that's right. That's absolutely right. I don't think Eddie crossed big jock either. So so there's a similarity there.
Unreal.
You know, Tommy as a manager would put his arm around you, and he'd a great way with people. Tommy, that's the first thing. So when it came to managing players, just about anybody that played under him would tell you the same thing. He was unbeatable in terms of the way he treated you as a player.
Yeah, amazing. And Tommy, I think after Kelly went down to Reading, did he take you down to Reading that time, or did you hang about back up in
No,
Scotland?
when we went to Celtic, of course, from Kilmarnock, and
sorry.
and that was obviously a bit traumatic because we just signed a new contract at Kilmarnock. We were only 37, and Tommy got offered the Celtic job. So, you know, he as he said to me at the time, you know, you can't pick and choose when you become a manager of Celtic. If the opportunity's there, you've got to take it. So that's the way I felt as well. Bob Fleet had offered me to stay and be the Kilmarnock manager, but I was always going to be Tommy, so never regretted that. That was again an unbelievable experience in the management side at Celtic, and you know, exciting. You know, whilst there was real down sides to it, the excitement I can still vividly remember it, the brand of football that Tommy had them playing. So it was a great experience.
Yeah, getting in, I was running ahead of myself there. The first season when you get in, taking over from the sort of Lou Macari, Liam Brady era, trying to go in there, trying to get the club stabilised out again. The takeover had just happened. There was still bitterness and everything going on in the background. There was a sure issue that was put in amongst it all, and I think we were all dragged into that as well to do phone sales, and I think they stuck Tommy out in the road as well, and you were trying to build a football team in amongst all that. It was a bit chaotic.
As I say, it was all happening. That was the thing. It was obviously, you know, a poor time in the playing side. Celtic's history hadn't won a trophy for, that was the last one, was 1989 against Rangers. So Tommy and I were involved in that.
That's right.
And here we were coming back 94, 5 years later, and no a trophy. So it was that side, the most important side to sort out. But Fergus was building a stadium, and as you say, share issues and everything else. It was exciting. But you know, I think you know, Celtic supporters will, but outside of that, I don't think Tommy gets the credit that he deserves. Nobody would know the size of the task that he had there for those 3 years to rebuild a team. You know, that was basically a squad needing rebuilt. We had Packy, brought Packy back, brought Charlie back for the first season. Paul and Granty were still there. And then obviously there was one or two young ones, Matt McNally, and then we had Wally Faulkner and Rudy Vata and players like that. So there was
somebody listening from that squad. Sorry, Bill. There's somebody listening from that squad wants to say a big hi to you. Paul Byrne. Paul's listening, and he sends his best regards to you.
Yeah, Bundy. What a man! I know. So he was a character.
We had him on the show as well, and he tunes in for play to him every time.
A good lad. I mean, I can still remember we were going to Ibrox in a midweek game, and Tommy took a call from somebody to say that, I don't know if Bunny told you this story, but to say that Paul Byrne had been spotted in a bookies in Hamilton, putting a bet on Rangers. Did he tell you that?
No, he didn't tell me that now.
Aye. So this is some crying call, but obviously it was, you know, you could do without that, but we drew one each and Bundy scored the goal. So so it all worked out. I got great ability, Paul. Great ability.
Without a doubt.
And all the rest of it.
I watched them play in the Irish League for Bangor in a few games, you know, when they played Cliftonville. I would have watched the local team as well. And you could see he was the best talent in the Irish League back then. And another guy called Peter Murray. They were two outstanding players.
I know. and he scored some good goals for Celtic, and not least that night at Ibrox, we drew one each. So, no, that was just the thing I remember about that game with Burnley was getting that call. I can't just remember. I think he would have mentioned that because obviously it was a crank call. But I don't know if Tommy mentioned it to him before or after. I really don't know, but I can verify it that was just before we got on the bus to go to Ibrox with that call. So it didn't change. Burnley was playing, and so that told you how much we believed it. And sure enough, he scored a great goal.
A great game that night. Yeah. An absolute peach of a goal. Well, you know what I mean? The assist that was put in from it was just put right on his toe there. And
it was.
Beautiful.
Brilliant.
Absolutely beautiful. Get Declan here with another question. Fire in there, son.
Just with coming into Celtic, obviously there was a big rebuild needed on the player front, and we brought in some amazing players like Andreas Thom, Georgie Cadet, Van Hooijdonk, Di Canio, bringing through players like Simon Donnelly as well, and Jackie as well.
Weghorst.
So many, and it does say how unfortunate were we with a team like that not to win the title.
Okay, you're right, Declan. I mean, I think the thing was we knew it was a big rebuilding job. I think the first season where it was the Hampden season, which was horrendous. It just was horrendous. That's the way I could describe it. That we had, Fergus had rented Hampden because Celtic was getting part was getting rebuilt. So we had a big turnaround. So we had the first season, if my memory serves me right, we signed Van Hooijdonk around about November. Phil O'Donnell, God rest him, and Jackie McNamara, I think, came later on as well. And the great thing about the Jackie McNamara story, when we signed Jackie, he came through. We were playing Falkirk at Brockville that night, and Jack came through to sign in the afternoon with his dad. So they parked in the big car park, and while we were in signing, we got the word that Jackie's senior's car had been broken into, and Jackie's boots had been stolen.
Right.
So we were going to play at Brockville that night, and honestly, Jackie was signing the contract. And we were getting it rushed through, so he was eligible to play. So with no boots. So I don't know if any of the boys have mentioned Angie, who sadly passed away not that long ago. Angie was the laundry woman at Celtic Park.
Yes.
An absolute character. I mean, what a great woman. And Angie stayed in Barrowfield, so she put the word out, and the boots were back in an hour.
Oh, right, yep.
Right. So he went on to make his debut at Falkirk that night, if I remember serves me right. So, but to go back to Declan's question, we had to make a lot of signings, which is never easy, and I think most of them sort of turned out to be pretty decent. But Andy Thom was another one,
Brilliant player.
And then obviously Cadet and all the stuff that surrounded that with Jim Farry, the SFA. Losing his job, stopping him playing, and all the rest of it. So
how do you feel about that yourself, Starkey? Because that did cost us the league, really. It did.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. But also, I can still remember that people shouldn't get over it. But Cadet scored at Ibrox that night. He was about 4 yards onside.
Yeah.
And they gave him offside, which wasn't that unusual. But no, I think that we could have done without that really was wrong. But that I can still remember that night when Cadet made his debut at Celtic Park against Aberdeen, and we brought him on sort of midway through the second half. We were 3 or 4 up, and Granny played him through, and he ran through and dinked it over the goalkeeper. Well, the noise that night,
that was amazing.
The word is it put 5 Live off air. They were commentating, and it actually burst their sound system. The incredible noise that came from Celtic Park that night. So Cadet was a great goal scorer, as was Hooijdonk. And Di Canio was a genius, and they say geniuses are close to madness, and that's true with him as well. But no, as I'm doing about exciting times, I wouldn't change that for the world. We did more than enough to win the league. Rangers got some late goals, to be fair, and had some players like Gascoigne and Laudrup and McCoist was there to score the goals as well. That they managed to just edge us out. But I think actually when we won the league, when Vim won the league, Vim and Murdo won the league, they had less points than we got that season. So
that's right, we ended up with.
It's just your luck. That plays a part as well. But but no, exciting.
Nearly 3 points we ended up with that season, finishing second, 1 loss. It was hard to take.
That's right.
And you know what was hard to take? It was, I think, Easter Sunday. It was the Scottish Cup semi-final, and we lost 2-1. And we were brilliant that day as well. We were absolutely. I don't know what. How can this happen? How can this keep happening? We were just outstanding, playing them off the park, and constantly ended up in the wrong end.
Gordon would make unbelievable saves. But I remember that semi-final. I remember we Sid had a couple of chances. Simon Donnelly had a couple of chances.
That's right.
So it's a fine line. It's a fine line. But you can only do everything you can, and we did. So you can't have any regrets. Tony, it's sometimes it's just meant to be.
Yeah, but here one thing was meant to be. We sort of skirted over it there, so we'll go back to the previous season, playing at Hampden, and you know what I mean. It was depressing season playing there. Then with the Wraith Rovers debacle in that final, sweep it over. But the Scottish Cup final that year, breaking the duck. And winning the trophy, how did that feel? You know what I mean? What was the pressure linking into that? Because we spoke to the players, a couple of players, and they were going, well, you know what I mean? We did find it edgy, but for management and to deliver, what was it like for you and Tommy?
Well, it's a good question. Talking about fear, talking about worry, talking about just. Well, fear's probably the main fear of losing, which is never a good thing. But we'd had that Hampden season, we lost to Wraith Rovers, and again that 9 times out of 10 with a win. I think it was sort of another meant to be. We absolutely battered them, but couldn't get over the line. But the Scottish Cup final, the overriding feeling at the end of the game, Tony, was absolute relief.
Yeah.
And Tommy said that as well. Absolute relief. That first trophy, and, you go back to the 7-1 game in 57, and then the next one was 65.
Yeah.
When Big Billy scored the winner at Hampden. So, a long time for Celtic to go to trophies. So that magnified the pressure, and the fact that we'd lost to Wraith Rovers just doubled that if it could. So no, I can't. And to be honest with you, Airdrie, people would say Airdrie should always beat Airdrie, but Airdrie's not a team that you'd have picked to play. They went man for man all over the pitch.
That's right.
Horrible to play against.
Wasn't a great game that sort of wasn't going to one of them ones you weren't going to tape and watch over again like.
No, exactly. And the game wasn't great. The goal that won it was a great goal.
Yeah, big PR.
And I can remember Granty making a fantastic tackle late in the game when they had broken inside his own penalty box. So I was delighted for him because he'd suffered through the years along with Paul.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, relief first of all, and then great joy. Great joy just to see what it meant to the Celtic supporters to win a trophy, and the players that had been through it for longer than Tommy and I had, for 3 or 4 years before that. So no, it wasn't the best game, but it was always just going to be about getting that trophy.
And that was a great buzz that day, knowing we'd get it, because we had bad luck with injuries before the game, I think. Brian O'Neill had been
Well,
injured.
Tony
Tony
Mowbray.
Mowbray. Yep.
He got a booking in the semi-final, a ridiculous booking, so he was
Yeah,
suspended. So we had to bring in young Matt McNally, who did admirably that day.
Yeah. And Big Pierre getting injured during the game as well after scoring. He had to go off.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
And we ended up with delivered in the end.
You know, these things can happen, but in big games like that, you want to have your full squad available. But you know, we managed to get there. As I say, it was a great goal. It was a great goal to win it. A typical Tosh McKinley cross, and Van Hooydonk attacked it really well and powered the header beyond them. A great goal.
Yep. And as I say, we skipped then, we've done the next season, and getting into the next season, the pressure's still there, you know, and in the background, we're producing these great players. Tommy's finding these, and you're finding them here, there, and everywhere, and bringing in. The next big Stubbs comes up with Enrico Arnone coming in. You have Tommy Johnson coming into the squad. And we're finding it hard, but we lost Paul McStead, retired, Big Pierre.
But you know, on that Tony, with Paul's ankle was bothering him, and well, more than bothering him. You know, he made his debut at 16 and had a full career anyway. So his ankle had been bothering him for a year or two, but it got really chronic. So that around about the turn of the year, we were taking the boys to the Belfry, you know, down in Birmingham, the golf course hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So we were taking them down there, and Tommy had one of his biggest stand-ups with Fergus.
Right.
I had to take the team down the bus, and Tommy stayed behind. What was happening was, if my memory serves me right, we were obviously Paul was struggling, so we were trying to get Andy Townsend, and Andy Townsend was the Republic Island captain. I think he was 31 at the time, but Fergus wouldn't give us the money to sign him. So Tommy was doing his best to make him change his mind, but he wouldn't. So that would have, I think that would have made a difference to us.
Yeah, would have. Townsend was a cracking player.
Top player, and would have filled that gap for us for the second half of the season in the middle of the park. So you know, that's just when you mentioned Paul there, that it was tough for Paul playing on with that ankle, and eventually had to retire just toward the end of that season. So
we'd only finished 5 points behind at the end of that season.
I know.
Yeah, and then still finished second.
The thing was, Tony, we lost the semi-final to Falkirk. Which was one of those games we should have had won, didn't. And anyway, it's a hard luck story, but so that was when Fergus made the decision, and I think he actually offered Tommy a job to stay on in the youth side, which was really not the right thing to do. So Tommy left, and we had 3 games left. 3 games left of the season, and amazingly we went. I remember we went to Easter Road on the Sunday, just after Tommy had gone.
Yeah, you'd done the 3 games.
And then we played Kilmarnock on the Wednesday, I think, and then Dundee United at home on the Saturday. But Rangers had 3 tough games left. They had Motherwell Ibrox on the Easter Monday, and then they had to go to Tynecastle. No, so they had to go to Tannadice and then Tynecastle. So Only Coyle scored for Motherwell. Motherwell beat them, and I should try and sort of research that, but my feeling was we actually were still in with a chance.
Yeah.
Because we beat Hibs 3-1, I think, on the Sunday. Cadet and the Canio scored, I think, and then this is when Tommy had gone, and then we played Kilmarnock on the Wednesday night, and we drew 1 each at home. But Loudrup got the goal at Tannadice that won the title anyway. So and I think they lost the last league game at Tynecastle as well. So it could have been closer.
Yeah.
Which would have been quite bizarre that Tommy had gone and then.
I know it's still you know what I mean. I feel very bitter about that, which way Tommy was treated there towards the end.
Yeah.
And of course, at that season, we had lost all 4 Old Firm games that were then. You know what I mean? When you think that's 12 points, like if you drew one of those, but
I know.
It's, you know what I mean?
So we were more consistent over the other games.
Yeah,
That's what you would say. But and I remember when Tommy came back and I went with him as manager. I remember him clearly saying to the players, because where Celtic had been, he says, "Don't worry about the Old Firm games. We need to beat all the other teams.
Yeah.
That's the first step." And of course we weren't able to do that season, but then we started to do that. It meant we were in the sharp end in terms of winning the league. But no, that was the first thing. So you're right. Those Old Firm games proved pivotal, and I still remember. In fact, I watched it on YouTube the other day. There, Celtic. Well, we played Rangers Ibrox and drew. No, we lost 2-0 that day, but Granty hit the inside of the post. Well, first of all, D'Atanio went through in the first half. Richard Gough took him out right, maybe 10 yards for goal.
Yeah.
And D'Atanio, it's a penalty and a sending off after about 10-15 minutes in the game. D'Atanio tries to get to his feet, and Gorham makes up the ground and saves it. And Wally Young was the referee, and I forget it. And it's a penalty and a sending off. Anyway, then the second half, Granty hits the inside of the post and it runs along the line, hits the other post, comes out, and then Yogi hits the bar with a header. So, the Old Firm games, because I think Cadet was one of the other ones with his goal getting chalked off. So, it's excuses, but I think they're worth debating. There was a bit in the other thing was Tosh McKinley, that game that I'm talking about, Tosh McKinley got sent off just before half time for a second booking, and so we played the second half with 10 men, and that was when Granny hit the post, and so we weren't far away, but
definitely not.
Maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't to be. And when that all sort of when Tommy had been dismissed from his duties, what was it like to take them last 3 games? How was the squad feeling? Because we all know how our feelings are to Mr. Celtic, and you know what I mean. Which way was the squad when that happened?
It was. I mean, I'm talking about the great experience and loving every minute of it. Not quite every minute, because that was horrendous.
Yeah.
When Tommy went, and first thing for me was I said I'm going to be Tommy, and they said, would you stay and take the team for the last 3 games, and that was a tough one to decide. But so anyway, I went up and discussed it with Tommy. He insisted that I do it, so I had made it plain. They'd said, would you apply for the job at the end of the season or whatever? I said, no, I'll take the 3 games and then I'm off. So that was what happened. But the I can still remember it well. Getting up to see Tommy at the house, he was distraught.
Yeah.
He wouldn't put that face on to anybody outside the house. But he obviously was distraught. I mean, because we knew we weren't far away, and given a wee bit more time, then we'd like to think we would have got there. But these things happen in football. But it was horrendous for Tal, horrendous, and so it was difficult for me. It was horrendous for Tal, and it was just difficult for me. But I had to Tommy would have spoken to all the players, which would have helped to motivate them to finish the season. And so for me, it was really a case of obviously Packy. Brought Packy in alongside me to help, and be Frank Connor, and we just negotiated the last 3 games, and basically tried to make it all about being the way that Tommy would have wanted them to be, in terms of every time they pulled on that jersey, what they did when they were out on the pitch, and they managed to do that, I think, quite successfully over the last 3 games, and kept the standards that Tommy had set, kept them going. But it was a really difficult time, and as you say, in terms of the way it was handled by Tommy, they were trying to usher him out the back door, and being the man he is, he says, "No, I'm going out the front door." So it was tough.
Yeah, absolutely loved the man. I'd spoken with him many a day. Remember when he first got the job and he came over to Belfast, and I managed to speak to him in private, before he went out and spoke to the fans and that. And he just says, if one thing I can do, he says, if I can come to this club and put the smile back on people's faces and make people happy and work, he says, I'd have done the job just to do that alone. And I went, oh, Jesus, that's
exactly.
Some man for one man. Yeah.
I think people around about the club would tell you exactly that, Tony. That's exactly what he did. It was a great place to go and work again, and that's effectively what he did.
He put the smile back in the faces, and when you both went out the door, and the experiment of Dr. Joe Vanglaws came in, and it didn't work. But really, the nucleus of the team that you had built really delivered under Vinyanson. Because most of the players are. Were all the players that, bar one or two, that you have brought through?
Yeah, most of them. Yeah, I mean, I think he added to them during the season, which was good management. But I think the Larson factor was the most important one, wasn't it? I would love to have added to go back to Declan's question. I would have loved to have added the Larson to our list of signings as well. But he takes the credit for that. And what a signing!
That was just unbelievable. But then when you look upon your signs, although they didn't deliver, when you think of Canio, Van Hooydonk, and then Cadet, you know what I mean? When you put them three together, you know what I mean? The three amigos is what they're known as.
The amigos, yeah.
It
was exciting. They were Celtic type players.
Yeah.
Tony, they were Celtic type players that got fans excited, that got people coming to games and anticipation of watching good attacking football and creating chances and scoring. So, they definitely fitted the bill that way.
Yeah, and after Celtic life had been over for a while, Tommy did come back to the club. What about yourself? Were you ever offered any more roles of coming back in, coaching wise, or?
No, really. No. Nothing concrete. We'll have to read things in terms of scouting things, but no full-time jobs or anything like that. So I was. It was great to see Tam back, and it says everything about him that some people would have thought that was above them when you've been manager there, not to come back in a lesser role, if that's the right way to put it. But he fulfilled all those roles, and his faith in youth was put to good use as well, where he was able to bring through young players. And McGeady being one of them. Yeah. And he had the trust of them, and he was a great coach as well. So and I just talking with Big Billy, talking the same level. Tam could do that as well. He could have a laugh and a joke. And obviously, when you're no manager, that's even easier. So I think it was laughing in it. We Burns about that's for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. Declan's in with another little question here. Go ahead, Dax.
Yeah, just as your tenure as the assistant manager, there's so many players to pick from: Van Hooydonk, Canio, Tom Collins, even Paul McStay. But who was the best one, do you think, ability-wise, was when you were assistant manager?
Well, I think they would all get a mention. I would say McStay, having played with him and then helped to manage him for consistency in his time over a long period of time at Celtic. The standards that he produced would put him to the top. And in terms of raw ability, Di Canio would be there. Di Canio was just unbelievable, and he trained like a beast. Di Canio. Mm-hmm. He really, we could have opened up or asked for pay at the gate to see training sessions with Di Canio, and the players loved him. It was one day we were training at Barrafield, and Gordon Marshall were just playing a small-sided game, and Gordon Marshall was the goalkeeper, and Di Canio always wanted the ball. if he didn't get the ball, he was in a huff, and that's exactly what happened. Marched through to somebody else, and he stormed off the pitch, stormed off Barrowfield, shouting and bawling. That was him. He walked up London Road back to Celtic Park. Tam had to go on the phone to Davy Hay, who was back at the park, say, look out for this guy.
This man Italian coming up, cursing.
Exactly. So Davy got it. That night, just nailed it right on the head again. You get chocolates and wine and flowers, and went up to the Canier's house for his wife and all the rest of it, and then everything was hunky dory again. And that's the way it was with the Canier. There could be a major blowout, and then the next day, he was back.
Yeah.
Standing in front of that mirror, telling everybody what a pretty boy he was and all that. So he was good value.
Great to watch, but hard to handle. Yeah.
Hard to handle. Yeah. Tommy knew how to handle him, but you could see. I think Harry Redknapp got the best of him as well. So those types of guys that were down to earth, that knew how to handle him. But but he was ability-wise, Declan. He was sensational.
Yeah, I watch all the videos online of him. Is probably that sort of Celtic player that I wasn't alive for, but I would love to see him play live.
You'd love to see him live, Good.
Yeah. Well, I've seen loads of them live, but in management, like, I have to laugh. In later years, I was seeing him in management there. He was getting a wee bit of taste of his own medicine with players. When you think about which way he put you through the mill, other wee players were putting him through it in later years, as it was seen through Newcastle and Middlesbrough.
I know, and a Celtic player that I had as an under-21 player when I was taking under-21s as SFA was Paul Caddis, and Paul played for him. Paul played for him, was it Swindon?
Yeah.
Was Swindon. Yeah.
Aye, but he says he was mad, absolutely mad, because that was the one. Remember the goalkeeper
down the dugout. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the Rangers goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper, and that was the guy. You came in every day, and you had to be ready for anything kicking off.
Yeah,
it was. You laugh about it now, but it was quite stressful at times managing him, to be honest. But it was worth it for his ability.
Yeah. Without a doubt, to watch him.
To be fair to Paulo, that was the Rangers goalkeeper. He did that to Fotheringham.
Was that Fotheringham? Yeah, but down the dugout. Yeah.
So it was. That's right. He must have foreseen that.
Yeah, and later years, as Tommy was going through all the coaching at Celtic, he was in his element there. He used to look down towards the bench, and now and again, he had a strategy, and that's the kind of guy he was. Waved up, put no thumbs up towards you, towards the family and stuff. Just an outstanding individual. He would have went out of his way, still come over to Belfast, the functions, remembered everybody's name. That's why I was always astounded by him. When he used to come back and meet somebody once or twice, and he come back and he knew their names, and
I know.
He was just.
I know that a lot of them like that. Fergie was like that as well. You're right, Tam was able to do that as well.
Yeah, it must be an ability to have. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I've seen you've worked with the Scottish under-21s, wasn't it? Yeah.
Sorry, Declan, say again?
It was the Scottish under-21s you've worked with, and that's the under-19s.
It was the 21s, and then I went away and I came back again. It's the 19s I take now, 18s, 19s. So
from them groups of players, what's been the best one that's stood out for you and has gone on to do good things in the game now?
Well, there's one that's no too much a surprise. Billy Gilmer, that's in Chelsea.
Yeah.
He's got everything. Tam would have loved him because he's first out in the training pitch. He loves training. He loves playing. He's a good wee character about the place. Likes a laugh. Good personality. So if I was putting, it's very difficult to say young players will definitely become real top players, but if you had to push me, Declan, I would say Billy Gilmer's the one, without a doubt.
Yeah, he had a good game against Liverpool in the FA Cup not so long ago.
So he did. I was a wee bit disappointed because just before the lockdown, he played a couple of first team games, got man of the match, and then the first game back there he was on the bench. He's not played yet, so but I'm sure his time will come. That's for sure.
He has Man City tomorrow, so maybe.
Yeah, it might have. Here, but going towards, as you know, Tommy was diagnosed with skin cancer, and with you being his closest friend, how was that going through that period with Tommy? Because we knew he was a loving guy, and I know how much love he had for you.
Yeah. I still find it difficult to talk about.
Yeah,
Tony, to be honest with you, but
we're not going to push you on anything, so we'll just talk about Tommy the man.
I just remember, you know, being diagnosed, and typical Tommy, you know, he'd had this thing in his leg and he didn't do anything about it. But I was at Queen's Park at the time, so when he was in the Royal, I was able to nip up most lunchtimes to see him. Then of course he came out and was in remission, and things were looking much better, and then the terrible news that it had come back again, and it was actually on the day that his first grandchild was born.
Yeah.
So it was horrendous, and I just find it difficult to talk about. I talk about Tommy.
Yeah,
all day, but that particular time, I find it difficult, to be honest.
Yeah, and you've done him so proud at the time you spoke at his funeral and used those final words about your pal, and it was just beautiful what you did, and we know what Tommy thought of you throughout your career, and then the two of you, as I say, were like salt and vinegar and fish and chips. You know what I mean? You went so well together. And two lovely human beings. Although Tommy's not here, but
him with that red hair and that fiery temper, Tony, he needed somebody a wee bit calmer beside him.
Yeah, and that's what your whole exterior is, because you have a lovely calming voice, and even doing these talks and trying to keep up with things, you've been so chilled out, and your chill factor has actually come back on me and Declan, because we're very laid back this evening as well.
I've had a few brandies, Tony.
Oh, fair play. Well, I had a bottle of German beer here, but if you had to get in to drink it. Absolutely brilliant. Right, Dax, an order question.
That's my last one. Just with this much important season coming up, how do you feel that the Celtic will approach us, and do you think it'll be easy runnings for 10 in a row this year?
I do. I was a bit worried last year for a wee spell. Round about Christmas, just before the turn of the year.
Yeah.
I must admit, I was a bit worried. Obviously, Brendan had gone, Neil had come in, and it was tough to follow that consistency of performance that they had. But full credit, you know, the consistency after losing the Rangers game was quite amazing, and just blew them out of the water.
Absolutely.
You know, you can make excuses. They can make excuses for this and that, but the overall consistency, there was only one deserved winner. This season coming, you know, it's a difficult one, Declan, with the way the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, how's everybody going to react to it when we do get the season started? I think they're still hopeful about August. Will there be people able to come and see it anytime soon? I don't know, so that's a factor. But yeah, I've got a good feeling. I think definitely favourites by a good way, and they'll put up a challenge, I'm sure. But I think the quality of players. See, Ryan Christie's been offered a new contract. There's been some terrific performances from younger players as well. James Forrest was a player I had at under 19. Under 21s, love Jamesy Forrest. I know sometimes he gets a bit of stick, but I find that difficult to believe, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, you want to hear the stick he gives Jamesy Forrest, this Dagenham fella? Here, have a word with Billy. Yeah, oh yeah.
I'll get right off it.
It was only for this season, but I do like him as a player. It was only because from November till probably the last game he'd only scored 2 or so goals. And I just thought
he's such a great start.
His work rate's
I do, because his goals and his assists speak for themselves. But I just feel like he needs someone to challenge him, because when Patrick Roberts was there, he was playing out of his skin to get into the side. So I think he needs a wee bit of challenge for the right wing to get the best out of him.
That comfy. So you do raise your game when there's a direct challenge there, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But no, I think you know, Neil will make one or two signings. The European thing, sometimes that can be a factor. It can you know, the league's a big thing this season. You know, you just hope Europe doesn't distract it. But I think the squad that's there at the moment, with the addition of one or two, then I would be confident Celtic won the league.
Yeah, it's looking good for them. Here, before we let you go, Billy, can I ask, of your whole time at Celtic, what was your favourite shirt?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, the Centenary shirt, obviously, but I loved the 95 Cup final jersey with the thin hoops. So there was some different Britha hoop. I think you know the one I'm talking about. But Van Hooydonk scored the winning goal.
Yes, that was big hoop, small hoop one, as I call that.
Aye, exactly. And with the hoop socks as well. I quite like the hoop socks, but the Centenary jersey for me will always be.
Yeah, it's my favourite.
A few of them up the loft, which.
Oh, have you? That was my next question.
Aye.
Have you got? Do you still keep a few there? A few of the shirts?
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
Aye, absolutely.
Anton sent me a picture of his.
It's not like nowadays, Tony, where they can swap jerseys every game. Nearly walking.
Yeah.
You take your life in your hands, get in with a jersey you'd swap with. Really, this is the truth. We were only allowed to swap in European games.
Yeah. Oh, here. Do you know what I did a couple of weeks ago? I picked up Paul McStay's European match shirt against Hooved in 1989. I actually picked up his match-worn Centenary shirt. Yeah, I managed to get my hands on it. The guy collected the shirts. I think you've seen in the photograph I sent you earlier on. I have them all framed and on the wall here.
I saw that. That looked impressive. That was brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, that's just the away side, or the home side. You seen, I have a big away side and the other side. So I'll send you a wee video of them all around the place. What about your medals? Still have all your medals and Billy?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they're just up the loft, Tony. But I've got 5 grandwains now, so 3 grandsons.
Yeah, so they're all being.
So hopefully all these shirts and medals will go to them in good time.
Yeah, get a nice frame, get them in the frame, get one of the medals put in and give them to kids for Christmas or something down the line, and that'll do.
Absolutely.
But honestly, it has been an absolute pleasure. Seriously, you're an absolute gentleman. You're so lovely to speak to. You just ooze absolute class, mate. You really do. And I can't wait to see you. And I'll buy you a couple of brandies, double ones.
I'm not kidding you about the brandy. I'm a beer man.
You're a what?
I'm a beer man.
A beer man. Well, I get you a couple of nice quality German beers there. That'll probably do. But yeah, I can't thank you enough for your time. You've been absolutely brilliant, and it's been, as I say, a pleasure to speak and tell you.
Good. And all the best to you, Declan.
Cheers, Billy. I was about to say the same. Thank you. You've been absolutely outstanding. And I know I didn't have that much questions, but it was brilliant to sit back and just listen to everything. It was class to hear.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Yes, don't worry. I'll be ringing Anton tomorrow and telling you pass with flying colours, Billy. Honestly.
Good stuff.
Billy, thank you so much for your time. It's 2 hours of your time we took up there, and absolutely loved every minute of it.
Yeah, take care.
You too, buddy. Thanks, Nick. Speak to you soon. Bye, Nick.
Bye.